We have some interesting articles here in our labor press. The first one is John Huntz, our president. There's John right there. Since last we wrote, we have weathered some turmoil in Portland First Transit. Despite the 13C agreement, we should have provided solid protections for our former MV Transportation members. First Transit announced they would not be honoring the existing labor contract. Instead, they intend to use the First Transit handbook as a contract until First Transit and ATU 757 negotiate a new agreement. Additionally, First Transit felt they had no obligation to offer employment to incumbents. I approached TriMet's general manager, our own Fred, who's bailing out before all the shit hits the fan. I approached TriMet's general manager and asked him to urge First Transit to honor the 13C obligations. While he agreed that First Transit was in violation, he made no apparent move towards forcing them into compliance. Yeah, well, you know how Fred is. He'll never disagree with people to their face, but then, We then informed both TriMet and First Transit we were scheduling a strike vote to begin the first day they assumed the contract. Internally, we sent out notices, set up phone tree, and organized members meeting. Within a matter of hours, First Transit signed an agreement, committing themselves to complying with the agreement. Good for you, John. You got him. What strikes me odd about this experience for our brothers and sisters up in Washington and Valley Transit is how effective we can be in a crisis. We move quickly, effectively, and as one unified force to protect our jobs. It's great. Okay. Congratulations on that. That was an obvious attempt at union busting there. But luckily our president was on top of that. And then there's the part where he addresses the TriMet negotiations. The most recent update is that I have met with TriMet's general manager to discuss the issues. The meeting produced some what-ifs. As a result, we have issued a request for some health care related documents and have received them and are currently in the process of examining them. The next step is reviewing this data with our bargaining team. As we get more information, we will update you. Yeah, well, I hope he really goes over this closely because I'm really suspicious of Fred here on this healthcare issue. I don't trust him at all. Especially since they've been using the media to do their talking. They don't want to do the talking themselves, so they use the media to do it. That's pretty low, if you ask me. And then we have our brother, Chris Alexander, TriMet pal, our boy Chris. Chris just been through the mill. He's got some real experience. He's been through the mill. He hung tough on this one. Hello, brothers and sisters. This month at POW, we had 2 suspensions and 1 termination and 2 step 3s. Other than that, it's been quiet. Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know what goes on. I don't know what goes on anywhere, actually, except when it's brought to my attention. We are holding pending negotiation. TriMet's not willing to meet with our team. Yeah. I want to thank all the members who came out February's charter meeting and let their voices be heard about the petition against me. Remember, the unions are controlled by the members' voices and bylaws. We are only as strong as our membership. If you have any questions, give me a call. Now, that was a great example of democracy in action with the Chris Alexander vote and the minority who was squeaking and hollering like stuck pigs ended up going down in a defeat. They should have had enough sense to not be bothered with that. But I think they were misled by certain parties who shall remain unnamed. And luckily the union members saw the stupidity of that whole squabble. And then my personal favorite, Mr. Jeff Ackerson. We got good reps over here at Merle. We always have. Hello, fellow operators. January's a busy month. We had 1 termination. Somebody got fired, which the union is already taken through grievance process. Safety Committee is taking up issues involving the Route 5456 on Harrison Street. Merlot Garage Management and Road Operations have met about the issue, and hopefully there will be some resolution by the summer. Safety Committee would also be taking up discussion with regards to 2,900 seats. The bathroom situation on Broadway and Burnside is not resolved. The district is proposing to do away with the layover at Burnside and Broadway and to all have our breaks at Washington Square, Beaverton. Your input would be welcome. Assistant Station Manager Greg Larson has reported to me that the regroup is calculating your FEMLA use by the way in which you report it. For example, if you report that you plan to use 8 hours and use a lesser amount, they will charge you for 8 hours anyway. It is up to you to inform the regroup of any changes. Don't forget, you let them know. Lastly, our manager at Merlot has once again sent one of his letters to me, which basically states that safety issues cannot be grieved. I need to remind him once again that there are provisions in the contract that deal specifically with safety issues. I would like to congratulate Mickey Gillespie, Frank Ciccone, and Chris Harford. Safety issues cannot be grieved. Safety issues. I wonder, what does that mean? Well, yep, I don't know. This bodes poorly for us with all of this anti-union stuff. You see, they just try to find these little holes in every little thing they can and poke holes in the union protections. I don't know, what's the safety? I mean, what are they talking about? Smoking pot and driving, or drinking and driving? I mean, what would be an issue that couldn't be grieved? And here we have an interesting piece from Joe Ruffin. Apparently there's issues involving the stimulus projects and the working wage agreement. Apparently they're using the stimulus money to replace work that was done by TriMet employees. It doesn't surprise me, does it? I'd also thank each of you for your hard work and your contributions to your job. Your union rep recognize the hard work you're doing. We all know that we are understaffed in every department, which leaves everyone with a very huge workload. Hopefully management will recognize the strain they are putting on their employees and hire more people soon. We all know about $20 million shortfall. Oh yeah, and don't forget, they found $35 million somehow to upgrade the radios, but they have a $20 million shortfall. But okay, we won't, that's a whole other issue. The rail system is expanding, our buses are aging, our responsibilities are getting greater, and our workforce numbers have declined. What is management thinking? Who knows? These transportation systems have the ability to create steady and reliable careers for our fellow Americans. These jobs help improve our economy. Contracting out work is not the answer. It does not produce any good, stable jobs for our fellow Americans. It burdens our fellow Americans with temporary jobs that have no foundation and no health care benefits, and leaves our economy in the same state with no economic foundation. Brothers and sisters all across America, the transportation stimulus money has been a great failure, and I agree. Once the projects are done, the temporary jobs are gone, and the transportation agency is left with no money to operate the system. This leads to cutting service and raising fares, while the upper management personnel receive big payouts with bonuses. Geez, just like, whoa, gee, the banks. Brothers and sisters, some of these transportation agencies are no better than the banking industry. Boy, does he hit the nail on the head with that one. Okay, next we have Mr. Jeff Hunt. Got some interesting stuff in his report. Regarding the removal of the ATM at Merlot and other TriMet locations, I spoke with the manager of Advantis. They explained they were going $1,000 a hole a month by having that machine there. Why would they be losing $1,000 a month? How could that be possible? I mean, they're just giving money to members of a credit union. How could that cost them money? It seemed like it would be a wash, right? And I guess they got to pay to fill the thing or something. About $1,000 a month. Anyway, I'd like to give you my perspective on the way the system reportedly breaks down for operators at TriMet. Last week, an operator came to me and asked me what she should do about a soiled operator seat. I told her I would make it a road call and no one should sit in that seat. The operator told me she could not see the feces but that the smell was overwhelming enough to make it difficult. Somebody shit in the operator's seat. Holy mother! Oh God, that can't be true, can it? Dispatch was trying to make it a road trade, but was unable to make it happen. The supervisor's fix was to have the operator apply cinnamon filter spray on it to cover up the smell. The actual fix was to road call and have the seat replaced. My point is this: adequate restroom breaks in facilities are not just an operator issue. They affect all of us: operators, maintenance, dispatch, supervisors. Not only that, inadequate restroom breaks cost the company in terms of money, time, and morale. Somebody actually shit in the seat and